Good afternoon, everyone. Grant Cohn here with Sybilla Bakzaza. She's on the road, but she's not moving, so we're safe. But
Yes, we are.
she's in the field. We got some breaking news. It's very interesting. Javon Kinlaw out. Trent Williams doubtful. JaMycal Hasty full go. So let's go one by one and discuss the impact, the fallout here. Starting with Javon Kinlaw. Not playing, possibly going to IR. This is surprising to me because he'd been gutting it out all year. Then there was a bye week, and I was thinking, okay, here's like the little break he needs to get it right. Actually, it got worse, possibly going to IR. Strange. What do you think?
It's only strange because how did we get here in the first place? And I think the real question is, how bad is this knee injury? Is this something that should have actually shut down his season? Is this the coaching and the management is actually hanging on to these Super Bowl aspirations? And I'm not saying the season is done, but I think there comes a point at which they need to acknowledge where they are with Kinlaw. And that's one of two things. The first, will he ever be healthy? I hope so. I'm a strong believer in physical therapy. I think it can work. But at this point, this injury management, I'm not a fan of. If it's so bad that you're limping from game to
Explain
game,
what you mean by injury management.
so basically, they have made several statements from top to bottom, and that is essentially that they are managing Javon Kinlaw's knee, and by that they are kind of inferring that we're monitoring the pain index, we're seeing what his mobility is, we're keeping him on a therapeutic approach, we're limiting his snaps, limiting his participation, or when he practices, rotating him during the game. You're having to do all of these things. You're checking all the boxes for IR to begin with.
Right, and you're asking him to play while injured. It's understood that he's injured.
Yeah. Exactly. Are we asking him essentially, hey, play this year? We don't know about next.
And they're saying like, hey, look, you can't make it worse. So it's just a question of how much pain can you take.
And he can't make it worse because although he's young, all he's doing is grinding his knee into bits, and that's just going to. I mean, this is kind of like you look at the Mostert thing. He finally made this decision. You know what? This year I'm gonna have to let this go. It's painful. I want to go to the bowl, but at the same time, I have to get this right, done correctly. I think Kinlaw is about to face the same circumstances, and I think he should talk to Raheem.
Yeah, big picture, I think Kinlaw should shut it down for the year.
Absolutely.
The Niners used to go through this with Armstead. Early in his career, he had like a shoulder thing, and they wanted him to play through it, and he said, no, I'm going to get the surgery, and I'm going to come back 100% next year. Kinlaw just was never healthy this year. I don't know if he was really ever healthy last year, but he needs to shut it down and get healthy. Big picture, that's looking like a terrible draft pick. But you didn't need me to say that. But one more thing. I don't think this is the worst news for the 49ers because I think Kentavious Street is flat out better than him. And this will actually allow the 49ers to avoid the roster politics and get their best players in the field. Now, it hurts the depth, but I think Street's better than him.
Yeah, and Hurst has also come back as far as like a rotational piece to give Street some spell, right? Or what's going on there? I saw him on the active injury report.
Hurst got hurt this week. Hurst got hurt this week. Calf injury, 4 to 8 weeks. Subtopic. I didn't make it a full topic because it's just Maurice Hurst, but yeah, he's out too. Not good.
Yeah, see, I only read the report which said they were looking at his calf. So apparently that's been updated. Wow.
4 to 8 weeks. 4 to 8 weeks.
Okay, so the heck with that. Okay.
It's funny, last year was all about high ankle sprains. This year is the year of the calf strain.
I'm not understanding that. I'm really not. That's unusual to me. But moving along, if we want Kinlaw to work out ever, we have to give up on him this year. And the thing is, we are going to have a Philadelphia, like 2017. Like we're gonna have to have like their run, Philadelphia's run in 2017, as far as like getting to the Super Bowl. Realistically, at this point, we might make a push for the playoffs. I think it's possible, but not with Kinlaw, and I think next year is the year that the Niners will be looking to take their division.
Yeah. If someone gets fired this offseason because the Niners don't make the playoffs, this Kinlaw thing is going to be a big deal. You traded Buckner, and maybe that could have been okay if you had drafted Tristan Wirfs, who looks like, a franchise cornerstone offensive tackle, but you didn't. Or if you had drafted CeeDee Lamb, who looks like a franchise cornerstone wide receiver, but you didn't. You drafted a medical bust. Like, we don't even know if Kinlaw is good or not because his knee won't let us find out. And the knee was an issue before you drafted him. That's really a big mistake.
I think Kinlaw is good. I think he has great potential. He's a beast. He has some work ethic, but he's not. I don't know who's driving him. I don't know, personal pressure or something like that. What's driving him to not seek out a medical opinion that will shut him down? I think he needs to put his foot down. I agree with what you said. The thing that hurts as a 49ers fan, as even someone who's just objectively looking at the NFL, is that Javon Kinlaw replaced what should have been a franchise piece. Buckner is to that team as Warner is to this team. And so it's kind of like getting rid of Warner for, as you said, another medical bust. And as a 49ers fan, I know I can say I'm getting tired of seeing this. It's like the all red shirt squad.
Fred Warner with Reuben Foster.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is the 49ers, we would be okay if they got like a good, not a great first rounder, but a guy who was always on the field and was solid. But Kinlaw is neither of those things. And so that's what makes this hurt all the more.
You could argue, I got some more stuff to say. I don't want to pile on, but you could argue that it's just as bad of a pick as Thomas or Solomon Thomas or worse, given who this guy was supposed to replace. I mean, geez.
At this point, it's actually a whole lot worse because Solomon Thomas was not their replacement for Buckner.
Right.
Javon Kinlaw was the heir apparent from the moment he stepped in. And that's not necessarily fair to Javon. He just came here to play.
Buckner's number.
He's a gamecock, you know. He's a solid player. He knows what he's doing. They have a good program, but at the same time, the trade value here is obviously a bust. Anyone can see that. We traded off with Buckner for Kinlaw, and we don't even have him on the field, and we have to shut him down.
Kinlaw, Jalen Hurd. Oof. This draft, I mean, the fact you don't hit on everything, right? Sometimes you get players who are just kind of mediocre instead of great. But the fact that the sheer number of non-football players the Niners have drafted, medical busts that they've taken in rounds 1 through 3. I don't know who's responsible. I kind of think it's Parag, but Jalen Hurd in round 3, Javon Kinlaw round 1. It's way too much. You don't take these risks early in the draft. You take them on day 3, if at all.
Interesting what you said about Parag, because that's something I had not considered actually, because I've always felt that the Niners are like, it's like they're gambling. They're like, man, we can get this guy. We'll rehab his knee, like Latimore, if you remember, and people like that. And just, we're going to really hit on this and we'll get good contracts. So maybe they are drafting for contracts. That's a good point.
Yeah, a contract negotiator would think that way. A contract negotiator would look at an injured player and be like,
value.
I can beat him in negotiation. It's value right there. Absolutely. So I've been talking about it all week, but like, why has this issue carried over from regime to regime, from Balky to Lynch? There's a common denominator, Parag. Who's extremely powerful.
I really think that Jed York is really trying hard to empower the people he hires. I really feel he turns the ship over to its captain, essentially. I feel like he does that. So Parag is perhaps, as you say, the common denominator.
He's the vice president of the team. I mean, technically, that's more powerful than a general manager.
If you want to keep your job as 49ers management at any time, you're going to have to draft people you can excuse yourself of if they bust. And the only way you can do that is to draft people that looked good to the scouts and are healthy. That's it. Because then it's the player's fault. It's like a Troy Leaf situation.
Yeah. Next piece of news. Trent Williams is doubtful to play. He injured his elbow a couple weeks ago against the Seahawks, but that's not why he's going to miss this game, most likely. He's most likely going to miss this game because of an ankle injury he suffered against the Cardinals 2 weeks ago. And according to Shanahan, he zinged it on Monday, which means he re-injured it in Monday's practice. What do you think of this news?
You have to love Kyle Shanahan's medical terms.
Yeah. Oh, zing? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay. So that's very, like you said, I think we read between the lines and that just means he re-aggravated it. But this is not the game that I am particularly concerned that Trent Williams is out there if he's injured. And the reason for that is this is not the biggest team we will face. However, they recently hung in there, I should say, with Baltimore. That's the flash of brilliance from the Colts. But Baltimore also allowed the Lions to take them to the wire. So I believe in Lamar Jackson. I'm not so sure what I think of Baltimore so far, but I watched the Baltimore game. They definitely hung in there. Carson Wentz had one of his better games. I wouldn't say it's completely. What was that?
He's having a good year.
He's having a resurgence. Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
I think emotionally he
Yep.
feels he's believed in. I think he got a little healthier this year. New game scheme. He's with a coach and offensive coordinator that seem to jive with him, that have history, things like that. So Carson
There's
Wentz
hope
is
for
actually
Jimmy Garoppolo in the future if there's a coach who likes him. Right? They're
yes.
very
And
similar.
when Nelson's healthy, he's got a good center. He's got the best. So these are things that he uses well. I will say this: he's not as mobile as he once was. He was
No.
really anemic in that
Yes.
Texans game. He looked horrible when he took off with the ball. We're talking 0 yards, half a yard, that sort of
But
thing.
hold
But
on, let's come back to Trent Williams real quick. Without him, they're going to have Jalen Moore, the rookie 5th-round pick, starting at left tackle. They don't trust Aaron Banks. He's below Tom Compton, but now the 5th-round pick is starting at left tackle, and they seem to
that's a concern. Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing with DeForest Buckner, you guarantee it, even if the pressure is not their strong suit. And washing against the Texans, it was not their strong suit. The Colts, Buckner did notch one, but at the same time, they're going to bring more pressure today on this game. And if they don't, then that's terrible defensive planning. They absolutely have to bring pressure to take advantage of McGlinchey and more. So it is concerning. It will be more concerning as Garoppolo is the starter. Less mobile, less protection. Where are we with that?
Do you think this will shift the line? The Niners are 3.5-point favorites. Now, the
Yes.
line shifted already. They started at 5 and went down to 3.5. Maybe better.
Okay, well, that's the shift, I would say. This is not going to can the game. But the thing is, I mean, if Garoppolo's not mobile, like he's never mobile, but if he's less mobile than normal, and they bring in appropriate pressure, and they play a little zone defense to do that, they're going to put the ball over the middle in Garoppolo's hands, which, as everyone knows, that doesn't work. So Shanahan's going to have to dial up some creativity here. He's going to have to dial up some screens, some play action. He's going to have to get the ball out quickly. If we can do that, then I don't think this is the team that will tee off on the 49ers. Trent Williams needs to come back for the weeks to come.
Be interesting to see if the loss of the loss of Justin School finally impacts the 49ers, or if Jalen Moore is better than School. I want to say something real quick about Trent Williams before we move on. I was against the 49ers re-signing him. I know it sounds crazy. He's the best, right? He's also my age. He's 33, and he gets paid quarterback money. And here's his history. In 2020, he missed 2 games. In 2019, he missed 16. In 2018, he missed 3 games. In 2017, he missed 6 games. In 2016, he missed 4 games. In 2015, he missed 2 games. In 2014, he missed 1 game. I'm sorry, but I feel like you need your offensive lineman playing every game. And if he's the kind of guy who misses a chunk of the season every year, and he's the highest paid offensive lineman ever, I can't stomach it. It's too much. It's too much. Anyway, he's doing it. You
know why they have to pay top dollar for him?
Why?
Because they don't draft offensive line well. That's why. And when you do that to yourself, this is what you would. Here's the thing: should they have signed him to that much money? No. Could they let him go? No. Because they
didn't draft Tristan Wirfs and all these things. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So if you're not going to draft your offensive line, the days of Davis and Iopati and all those guys and Staley are gone. And Staley, I would bluntly say this: he's not as good as Williams, but he's solid and he's healthy and he's more valued. And so I would rather have him and get a first-round offensive lineman next to him that's not named McGlinchey.
Staley was so much cheaper than Trent Williams, and he would play every
exactly.
Game. Sorry, Trent. I didn't like.
And I like Trent. We can't let him go because of where we are. I wish Staley would come back and play right tackle or something.
Yeah, right. But people talk about the trade for Trent Williams. They just traded a 3rd and a 5th for this guy. What a steal! You traded those picks for the right to pay him quarterback money for like 12 to 14 games a year.
And everyone should have known that at the time. Basically, the Washington football team was jettisoning the negotiation process. They weren't going to resign him anyway, and they managed to fleece 2 picks. That's actually pretty good. To get a 3rd rounder, that's pretty good considering you don't have any contract control over him, and you're forcing the Niners to assume that control for the years to come.
Last piece of news of the day: JaMycal Hasty is a full go. He was on IR with a high ankle sprain. They opened his practice window up this week. You have 3 weeks to gotta get the guy in football shape. I guess he's in football shape. He's going to play, and they say he's a full go. That's another running back that Kyle Shanahan cannot trust and not give the ball to. How do you think this is going to impact the offense, if at all?
I do like JaMychal Hasty. I know you do as well. I think he brings something both to the run and the pass game. Absolutely. We have had a slaughtered running backs room. So this is good, if not to spell other backs, but just to give a different wrinkle, a different look to the Colts defense. I think this is important. Let's see how healthy he is. Did you get to see him practice?
No.
So we don't know. But I would have to. I feel like the 49ers at this point, I feel they are grasping at straws. So who knows how healthy he is? But I would like to think that he is going to be full go. And if he is, yes, he will help this offense out. Absolutely. He's a diversified back. He's very versatile.
He's a terrific route runner. When they would do the one-on-one, they would do that in training camp. He would often win. But he's also a really good runner. He's averaging 6.8 yards per carry this year. He's only had 6 carries. But I really like him. I feel like Hasty's issue is durability. He's small. He was an undrafted free agent. He may not have an NFL body. But if he's healthy this week, give him the ball. If he gets hurt, he wanted to play football. I mean, I'm sorry. Give him 5 carries. Give him 7 carries. Yeah, don't just give all the carries to Elijah Mitchell, because Elijah Mitchell isn't bad. But I'm not. I like Sermon too. I like Hasty too. And between the 3 of them, you might have a real rushing attack there.
The most important thing to rotate the line is for not just for health, but for keeping them fresh. Running back is the most brutal position in the NFL. Everyone gets to hit you. You get to hit no one. And the thing is, your jumps, your cuts, the way you hit the hole, your confidence when you are taking hits and dealing them as a running back. Your mental focus, you need some help. And if you think back to the Frank Gore and Kendall Hunter days, that was one of the better 1-2 punches I think the 49ers have had. It was as long as Hunter was healthy. But with this, I do think Trey Sermon, we should take advantage of his body. Let him do some pounding up the middle, soften the hole. I think that Mitchell should be in on plays just to give a different look. But definitely Hasty, passing downs and things like that. I would love to see him get to the second level.
You didn't like LaMichael James?
I don't think Harbaugh liked LaMichael James either. After that fumble, he just canned him. When he fumbled that ball, his career was over. Harbaugh never gave him another chance.
The NFL didn't give him another chance.
James, in that Super Bowl, he was a reason we came back. He was.
It's true.
He put some yards. But no, not a huge fan of him, no.
I think he's in Eugene somewhere. I think he has like his own hamburger franchise. I don't know. We're gonna answer a couple questions. Kaiser Soze's cousin, Boris, says Shannon Lynch should be fired end of year for drafting Solomon Thomas over Watt, choosing Kinlaw and Armstead over keeping Buckner. It's all been downhill from there. Oh, yeah, there was Watt too. There was also that guy, Patrick Mahomes. See, to me, if the Niners miss the playoffs in year 5, someone does have to answer for these mistakes because they're all accumulated. Absolutely. And you can't trust that year 6 is going to be better if these mistakes. Kinlaw is a relatively new mistake. This is last year, and if this
will hurt. The Kinlaw mistake could literally end the next few years of this dynasty we were supposed to build.
They don't have any more first-round picks. They needed Kinlaw to work out,
and they have a defensive line that is held together by glue right now.
True.
You don't know when Ford's going to go out. You don't know if Bosa is going to have another injury, or whether it's core or knee. If this is a ticking time bomb, we might get lucky, but I am not a firm believer of luck. No first rounders. Javon Kinlaw has a knee. This is about to fall apart in a horrible way. It is. If the Niners don't manage to trade up next year, which I think they will, this is not good. Absolutely. So someone will get fired. Absolutely. I like the Watt reference as well. I did not like that because to me, TJ, JJ, I felt they went hand in hand. And I think JJ Watt would be on this team had we drafted his brother.
Good point.
He went to the Cardinals.
It's true. Okay. This is something Sybilla has been thinking about all week. What the Niners should do from front to back on defense this Sunday night against Indianapolis. Lay it out for us.
Okay, so let's go over. I think the 4 threats on the offensive side of the ball for the Colts starts with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is scrappy. The 49ers cannot let him become mobile. He's not as mobile as he used to be, but they need to contain him nonetheless. That's the first thing.
He's more than scrappy. He's big. He's got a strong arm. He's good.
He's a mobile Ben Roethlisberger. That's what he is.
He's good outside the
And
pocket.
I don't mean skill level, but just
he's
the
made
intent
of
of his game.
He's definitely made of glass. But he beat the Niners last year with nothing around him. And now he has something. Yeah.
He personally ran over the 49ers. As simple as that. He just ran over them.
I was impressed. I was like, man, this guy is definitely one of the best athletes on the field. I don't care what's happening. The Eagles are a tire
when healthy, absolutely.
He's been good his whole career. I like him. I don't know.
Well, look what Jalen Hurts is having to go through. It's not Wentz's fault. What's going on there?
The team over there, yeah.
Next person, Marlon Mack is a solid running back. He can spell the carries and things like that. I really want to see them turn this into a one-dimensional game. I want to see them contain the quarterback and take away the run game. They have two decent receivers, and I think we all know one of them, and that's T.Y. Hilton. And then the young receiver that they have on the other side is kind of his heir apparent, and they're transitioning the game plan. I was listening to their analysts. They were talking about transitioning away from T.Y. Hilton as he begins to pass the torch to younger receivers. Against the Texans, Carson Wentz dialed up two bomb plays, one of which was 52 yards to T.Y. Hilton. The guy can still run routes. He still has great hands. He doesn't have to have the yak he used to, but the point is, against our secondary, we are going to have to be a little bit more physical and be very careful of playing a soft zone coverage. That's the thing I don't want to see against this team. A soft zone is going to allow these receivers of theirs to take advantage of a gutted secondary of the 49ers. Now, so for me, I want more pressure.
T.Y. is questionable for the game, but he may play.
Yeah, he hurt his, was it his knee or
quad,
his ankle?
His quad. And he didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday, but did he practice today? No. He didn't practice at all week, so he may not play. We'll see. T.Y.
Yeah, so the thing that I definitely want to see I feel like D'Amico is really good. He's becoming even better. I think this game will give D'Amico Ryans, our defensive coordinator, a real chance to show how he can shift between different looks, from the safeties to the linebackers to bump and run covers to man covers to zone. I think we're going to see something a little bit innovative from D'Amico Ryans. But if T.Y. Hilton is out, that really makes them one-dimensional.
Well, real quick, I mean, this is going to be, I think, a lot like the game the Niners played against Washington 2 years ago in the rain. It's going to be a lot of rain, and I don't know how much passing they're going to be able to pull off. So it's going to be like running attack against running attack. And what Indy has is kind of a four-headed running attack because they have Marlon Mack, who you mentioned, who's coming off an Achilles tear and was great earlier in his career. They also have Jonathan Taylor, who was their second-round pick. He's super good. He's averaging 5.4 yards per carry. They also have Nyheim Hines, who's their returner, and he has 26 carries. And they have Wentz, who has 18 carries this year, and he's averaging 4 yards a carry. He's part of their attack. They can have they will run the zone read here and there. I think he scored a touchdown on a zone read last year against the Niners. They actually are a pretty good running attack.
In the rain, I know you didn't want to talk about it too much, but in the rain, Carson Wentz he's more mature. And he has more weapons in his arsenal than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
So this is a game that the Niners have to be careful. They have to win. You lose this game, your season's done.
I think so.
Absolutely. If they lose a game like this, they can't come home and beat up on a 1-4 Colts team. Then they've got some serious problems.
I mean, if they lose,
they got their second game. That's right.
I think they would have to panic and pivot to Trey Lance and hope that he could save them. And I don't know if he's been prepared for this. I don't know if he can do that. Now, Lamar Jackson.
Again, I don't want to injure him during this year. Yeah. If Trey Lance blows his knee out next year and has a hell of a season doing it, it's understandable. But if he injures himself this year, no. But they still need to play him in order to get him ready for next year. But if he's not 100%, I don't want him out there.
Hold on. So, I'm just looking here. I'm making sure what Hilton here is listed as questionable by the Indianapolis, because I'm looking at the status report. He's questionable.
I feel there's a good chance he will play. I do.
Yeah. I think they feel they probably need him to win. I don't know how he won't be 100% healthy, of course, but I don't know how much deep passing there's going to be in this game. I mean, it depends what the weather's like.
They have a decent safety. He's not lights out, but I think Blackman is his name. 32.
No, he tore his Achilles this week in practice. He's out. I'm telling you, the Colts are more banged up than the Niners.
Damn.
The Niners have to win this game. They have to win this game. They're at home. The Colts are more banged up than them.
All right, if they can't win, then I double down on what I said. If they don't win this game, then this is not a team that deserves to go to the playoffs.
That's right. Absolutely. They have to
On an
totally.
emotional note, welcome home, DeForest Buckner. Defo,
Yeah.
it sucks to see you over there, but I hope we all give him a standing ovation. I mean, really, we need to welcome him home. San Francisco fans, we are known for being
Yeah.
classy, and I think we need to welcome home. You know, a
That would
West
be
Coast
great.
grown, just
It's
heart
not
of the
like he's
team.
one of these guys who left in free agency. He wanted to
He's our
stay, and the
Jason
team
Giambi. That's
treated
who
him.
he is. He's our
Yeah.
Jason Giambi.
Ha 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 ha. Exactly.
But don't boo him. That's what I'm saying.
That's true. It was originally Giambi, and then it was Tejada, then it was Mulder,
Chavez.
and Hudson, and Chavez.
Yep.
Now. All right. Before we go, you want to give a special shout out and thanks to a few people.
Yes. So since I've been here with Grant, I want to start off by saying, Grant, thank you for giving me the platform and including me and giving me chances to grow with my football acumen and just being able to provide as a fan, as one of the faithful, my opinions and my hopes for this team. Secondly, there have been a lot of really good people. Mariah, Crystal, who I first started with here with Women's Roundtable, which we need to bring back. We need to bring that back.
Let's do it.
Yes, absolutely. No, I already talked to them. They want to do it. They do.
All right.
So we'll talk. But they've kept up with me and everything like that. And people like Jesse and Vish who have dropped the odd comments here and there, and just making sure that I feel welcome and everything like that. And Jack Hammer giving me some tips and things like that. I really appreciate that. But above all, before the analysts, before Grants and everything, comes the faithful. And you guys have done a really good job of reaching out to me. I don't care about the odd comments here and there that don't belong, but the fact of the matter is, you can see by the likes and by all the wonderful comments you make that the majority, the 99% of what I get from you guys is very empowering, and I appreciate it. So I feel you guys have reconnected me to the team, and I appreciate that, because I drifted from the 49ers for a little while just because I'm not there anymore. And, all my favorite players like Buckner are not even there, but just being able to reconnect to the faithful, I appreciate that.
I'm glad.
So thank you.
I'm glad. It seems to me that during the pandemic, people were trying to find ways to connect to other people.
That's when it happened.
Sports fandom was one thing that could really connect people while everyone was just hanging out in their living room. So I'm glad that we were able to bring the faithful together.
Absolutely. And I think that every one of your followers definitely appreciates the fact that they could tune into this. And if you think about it, that's how I got on Women's Roundtable. Is I watched so many of your shows that I managed to catch that little comments you made where you're like, hey, email me. And I had to get the right show for that. I want to say it was probably a Vish show that you said that on.
I bet it was. Yeah. Please email me, because I wasn't trying to cast a net on Twitter, and you were the enterprising one that was all over it. So I figured this person must want to do it.
Absolutely.
Yep. Sybilla, the Jedi says if they lose, it's Trey's team going forward. It better be. That's my takeaway. I'd be interested to see what Trey could do with a 2-4 record. I don't know. But yeah, they would have to make huge freaking changes if they lose this game.
Yeah, Darth Garoppolo to Master Trey. That would be interesting.
Sybilla, have a great time wherever you're going.
Absolutely. On my way to Houston.
Tomorrow, it's a very special show. Me and Amin the Dream Team is going down tomorrow morning. Cohn Phone will be on Sunday. See you guys.